Hello everyone. So now I am going to discuss about the current affairs. So this is Sai Krishna, current affairs faculty of Abhyaas LawPrep. So now we are going to discuss the detailed analysis of CLAT 2024 current affairs questions. Let's look into the discussion. So this is the current affairs section. So first, I want to convey you that this time we have 5 current affairs passages and 4 passages have 6 questions and 1 passage has 4 questions. So totally we have 28 questions under current affairs section, and most important thing is that we have 23 easy questions out of 28 and just 2 difficult questions and 3 moderate questions. So overall we have 28 questions. Comparatively the current affairs section is very easy, and as our Naresa said that you can find many of the answers from the passage itself. Even if you don't know the issue, you can attempt all the 28 questions with 90% accuracy by simply reading the passage. Just at 2 to 3 questions, you need to know the extra knowledge which is not present in the particular passage. So let's start our discussion with the very first passage from the start set. The first passage is about Jallianwala Bagh massacre. The first passage is about Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So by reading the passage itself, you can see it is about General Dyer and it is about Jallianwala Bagh, which is given in the passage itself. Jallianwala Bagh. So let us look into the questions, whether we can able to write it or not. So the first question, which incident is described in the passage? As we can see that it is directly given in the passage. It is talking about Jallianwala Bagh. So we can easily attempt the first. One, Jallianwala Bagh, option B, and the next one. Why did General Dyer order to fire on the crowd? So for this question you may not find answer directly from the passage, but if you can able to do the logical thinking as you were doing in the critical reasoning part, you can easily find out the answer. Let's look into the options. The first option, to bring the crowd under control. This is the first option. Why did General Dyer order to fire on the crowd? Why he has to start a firing? To bring the crowd under control. If you look into the passage, if you read the passage, it is a peaceful gathering. So the crowd is under control only. So if you want to control the crowd, first they have to do the nonsense. But it is a peaceful gathering, a peaceful meeting. So option A is eliminated. To scatter the crowd. So the crowd simply sitting and listening to the meeting, and there is only one gate, so which is closed. If the General Dyer want to scatter the crowd, they need to open the gates, but they have closed the gates. That means option B is also wrong. Next, coming to option C, to teach the crowd a lesson. So if you look into the passage, here clearly mentioned that they don't want people to gather, arrange for meeting. So they don't want any sort of gatherings. So people have violated the orders of General Dyer. So General Dyer came to the place, he closed all the doors, he started firing. So it is to teach the crowd a lesson what happens if you violate the orders of British Raj. So the option is C. C is the right option. Next, after the incident, who helped the injured and the dying people? So General Dyer opened a firing, then who helped the people who have taken the shots and who got injured? And you have answered directly from the passage. If you look into the second one, those who lived nearby came and carried away some of the wounded from the heap of dead and dying. So from the passage itself, you have the answer. If you don't know the issue, you have the answer from the passage itself. So the people who are staying nearby, they came and they have taken the injured people to the hospitals for a treatment. Next question. After the incident, we have completed. The answer is D for this. And after that, what would be the feelings of Indian children? What would be the feelings of Indian children brought up to the spot? So, as we know, it's a crowd who gathered there are parents, elders, as well as children. So, what would they feel who are present in the spot? So, their answer would be, see, friendliness to British rule is the answer, because the General Dyer opened a firing, they started killing them. So it cannot be the answer. Bitterness about the British rule, it can be the answer, because British rule, when they are continuing a peaceful gathering, British Raj opened a firing. So they are killing them, they are injuring them. It can be some sort of negative opinion. Option C, a sense of helplessness. Thing is, they have closed the doors. The only one entry or exit for the entire Jallianwala Bagh. They have closed everything, so they cannot escape from firing. So this would be the answer. A logical conclusion for this is a sense of helplessness. Next, what was the full name of General Dyer? This is the most difficult one, because we generally we don't focus on the full names of the persons who are not in news. This is not taken from a news. It is basically a history passage, so it is not in news. So for this, the factual answer, it is the Reginald Edward Harry Dyer. It's a full name of General Dyer. So this is about first passage, and coming to second passage, it is from the news. It is about Israel-Palestine issue. It is about Israel-Palestine issue. In our Abhyaas LawPrep, we have discussed this particular passage in detail, and all these questions have been repeated in our Abhyaas mock test and our classroom discussions. Not even single question is out of our mock test. So all these questions are from our mock test. Let's see whether we can find answers for this in this particular passage or not. So even if you don't know the issue, you can able to attempt most of the answers by simply looking into the passage. Let's discuss. First question, 31st one. What was the reason for Hamas-led Palestinian militants attack on Israel? So the reason for Hamas attacking on Israel. If you don't know the answer, simply read the passage. You have the answer in the passage. If you look into this, see, here is the answer. Hamas declared that the invasion was carried out in response to desecration of Al-Aqsa Mosque, the Gaza Strip blockade, the construction of Israeli settlements, Israeli settlers' violence against the Palestinians in the West Bank. These are the reasons why Hamas attacked Israel. Now, let us come to the answer whether we have these reasons or not. The first reason, the first option, to retaliate against Israeli settler violence against Palestine. This can be the logical answer, because we have directly mentioned of this Israeli settler violence against Palestinians. Let's look into the other options. In response to the desecration of Western Wall. So it is about desecration of Al-Aqsa Mosque, not Western Wall. So option B cannot be the answer. Option C, to protest against the construction of Palestinian settlements. It is against the construction of Israeli settlements, not Palestinian settlements, because the attackers themselves are Hamas, who are sympathizers of Palestinians. Next, to seek an end to Gaza Strip blockade. There might be a confusion among A and D. So some people may say A is the right answer, some people may say D is the right answer. But let's decode it. Let's look at the logical conclusion of this. Here, nowhere they have said to end the Gaza blockade. So they did not mention about that. They simply, it is a retaliation to the Gaza Strip blockade. So it is a retaliation, not to end. So the exact answer to this particular question would be A. And what was the reaction of international community to the killing of Israeli civilians? How did international community reacted? Directly, these answers taken from the passage itself. Let us look into the passage. At least 44 countries, mostly from the Western world, characterize the massacres of civilians as terrorism. So the number has given directly in the passage itself. So condemned by condemned as a terrorism by 44 countries. Next, which of the following is not true about the historical context of Israel-Hamas conflict? You need to observe the question carefully. It is talking about which is not true, which is a false statement. If you carefully look into the option, the Palestinian refugees started settling under Ottoman rule in the late 19th century. That is the keyword here. It is in the late 14th century, 19th centuries and 1800s only. But it is about Ottoman Empire, which is 14th century. So this is not true. This is the false statements. Direct observation. What has been the response of the Israeli military to the Hamas-led attack? So how did Israel reacted to this? Now, declared a state of war and launched a ground invasion. So after Hamas attacked Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu has given a direct statement that Israel is in a state of war. We are going to an invasion. This is a direct statement taken from the news. So even if you read all these things, this is the possible thing. Let us look at the next options why they are not true. So conducted an aerial bombardment campaign only. So did Israel conducted only aerial bombardment? So only is the wrong one. Asked for international intervention. Israel never asked for international intervention because UNO comes and they will say two-state policy, but here Israel don't want these two states. So option C is also wrong. Captured and imprisoned the militants responsible. Till now, Israel did not found out the responsible person. They have captured the Hamas people, but not the responsible who actually invaded. So option A is a right answer. Next, I think we have missed some one question in the earlier passage. So 27. Yeah, we have answered this. Yeah. So 27. I think we have not answered properly. The light of above passage. What was the intention of the speaker? So whoever is giving this, so this belongs to the upper one. Actually, we have missed this question. This one, 26. Why did General Dyer order to fire on the crowd? Here, to teach a lesson, we have skipped this. And 27, in the light of the above passage, what was the intention of the speaker? So what was the intention of the speaker? So the speaker intention to expose the deeds of General Dyer. So for 27, option B, actually we have missed. We have kept option C for 26, but we have missed to 27. So sorry for that. Next. 35th one, what is the current hostilities known as in the Gaza-Israel conflict? So, if you look into the passage itself, there is a mention of a word called fifth war. Here it was directly mentioned here. It is about fifth war. So, in the option we have this statement directly. What is the current hostility known as the Gaza-Israel conflict? It is a fifth war. So option B is the right answer. Coming to 36, which major war does the current Gaza-Israel conflict resemble? So the present war, the present conflict resembles to which war? Again, we have a direct answer from this particular passage. If you read the passage carefully, here you have a mention of the word Yom Kippur War. So directly the answer was given in the passage. It is about Yom Kippur War. So answer for 36 is Yom Kippur War, option A. Coming to the next passage, it is about Chandrayaan 3. That's the surface of the moon. The passage about Chandrayaan 3, which is most important topics which was discussed in our Abhyaas LawPrep classroom discussion mock test, because India has achieved a milestone in reaching the moon and is the fourth country to achieve this milestone. So let us look into the questions carefully. How did India become the fourth country in the world? So in what did India become the fourth country? So we became fourth country in touching the surface of the moon. So is sending a spacecraft to the moon, landing spacecraft on the moon. Landing a man. We did not land it with our own technology till date. So option C is wrong. Sending a spacecraft. Already we have sent Chandrayaan 2. This is not the first time. So landing is the first time. Landing a spacecraft on the moon. So India achieved this. India is the fourth country to do this. And we are the first country to land on the South Pole. But we are the fourth country to land anywhere on the moon. So answer is B for 37. What is the role of Pragyan? So we have sent Vikram and Pragyan. So Vikram is the name of a lander and Pragyan is the name of the rover. So the lander carries the rover and rover will take the photographs. So the role of the Pragyan. If you don't know the answer, let's go back to the passage where it has clearly given. These are statements of our Prime Minister Modi. So I have seen the photo in which our moon lander has finally set its foot on the moon. One hand is the contents of Vikram, while on the other hand is the bravery of Pragyan. Our Pragyan is continuously leaving its footprint on the moon. The pictures taken from different cameras. This is the keyword. The pictures taken from different cameras is a keyword. You might be thinking that footprints, because we have two options here. To move around the moon, leaving footprints. To take photographs of the moon while moving. So there's a confusion among these two statements, whether A or B. See, what is the role of Pragyan? Why we have sent Pragyan there? To collect some samples, to identify the images, everything. The role of the actual objective of Pragyan is to move around the surface on the moon and to collect some photographs to show the world. By analyzing that data, we can know some answers, whether what is the temperature on the moon, what is the temperature difference in the upper surface and lower surface, like that. So the actual objective of the Pragyan is to take photographs of the moon while moving. It is not to show, because to show these pictures, we require the satellite also, orbiter. So that is the orbiter will send us. So the actual purpose of this Pragyan is to take the photographs while moving on the surface. Next, 39. Name one institution that played a major role. So this is a very easiest question as this. So to send any satellite onto the any planet, we have only ISRO from India. So this is a direct question. What is the name of the moon lander and the rover? Again, there is that confusion. See, through Chandrayaan 2, we have sent Pragyan and Vikram, but we were unable to make it success. We have placed orbiter successfully, but our Pragyan and Vikram was a failure for Chandrayaan 2. The same names we have sent Pragyan and Vikram onto the moon with Chandrayaan 3. The names did not change. The confusion. So for 40, answer is Vikram and Pragyan. Pragyan 2 is wrong one because we did not change the name. We have kept the same name. So Vikram and Pragyan. Next. Whom did the Prime Minister address this to? So whatever the passage we have seen, to whom the Prime Minister is addressing, whether it is the people of India or to the world or to the students or to the scientists of ISRO. So if it is to address the scientists of ISRO, it need not be a public meeting, but it is to show the world that we have achieved. So the people of India, it is telling that the people that we have achieved this event. So for 41, option A, to the people of India. Next, for 42, which of the following countries in the world have touched? So as we say, India is the fourth country to step on the moon. What are the other three countries? Again, there is a confusion among two options. USA, USSR, sorry, it's USSR, China and India. USA, Russia, China and India. So whether it is USSR or Russia, the one important thing we need to know is the first one to send moon is USSR, Soviet Union, not Russia. So our answer should be USSR. So option A is the right answer. Next, passage 4. It is about G20 summit, which was recently held in India, and we were the hosting countries. India got the presidency for this year G20. Next year we have handed over the presidency to the Brazil. So the host country for 2024 is Brazil. Coming to the questions, 43. The G20 is a forum for international economic cooperation. Select the correct option. So option A, G20 is a forum for international economic cooperation, international peace and security, international cooperation for combating money laundering, all the above. Directly you can say it is not all the above because it is not for combating money laundering because we have FATF for that. It is not for peace and security, we have UNSC for that. The only possible option is Forum for International Economic Cooperation. So G20 started as a response to the financial crisis. So we have the body got expanded. So this is the right answer. Next, the G20 summit is hosted by incumbent presidency. The G20 presidency is responsible for bringing together the G20 agenda in consultation with other members and response to developments in the global economy. Which country will hold the presidency in 2024? So as I said, our Prime Minister has handed the presidency to the Brazil to host the G20 next year. So Brazil is the right option for this. Next, 45. Which one of the following countries is not a member of G20? So the right answer for this is Egypt. It's a direct factual question. We need to remember all the countries of G20, 19 individual countries plus one European Union. So here the answer is Egypt. Egypt is not a member of this G20. Next, 46. At every G20 summit, the host country invites countries and institutions. So which are the countries invited present G20? So which country? India invited which countries? So you need to remember the countries which were invited by India. This is the most difficult question of this particular entire current affairs topics of this CLAT 2024 because we need to remember all the G20 countries as well as the invitee countries. So the right option here is 46. It is C. Bangladesh, Singapore, Spain, Netherlands. These are the 4 countries which are invited. Some other countries also invited, but in our options, we need to know all the countries must be right. So option C is the right option. And final passage, it is about our constitution. It is about our constitution. What is the life of contradictions referred to in this particular passage? So if you see, it is directly given in the particular passage in the first line itself. We are going to end in the life of contradiction. In politics, we will have equality, and in social and economic structure, continue to deny the principle of one man, one value. That means here the life of contradictions. The life of contradictions means everyone have equal political power. Anyone can contest, anyone can vote, everyone is equal. But what is different, what is not equal? Our social structure. We have different religions, different castes. So our social structure is not same. Our economic life, we have rich people, middle class people, poor people. So economic is not same. So only thing which is same is political life, and which is not equal is social and economic life. So we can directly conclude from this. The option is for 47. It is A. The life of contradiction refers to the equality in politics, but inequality in social and economic structure. Next, what will happen according to Dr. Ambedkar if we continue to deny equality in our social and economic life? So what happens if we continue to deny equality in social and economic life? So the answer is our political democracy is in danger. So for this, we have no direct answer from the particular passage, but if we deny equality in our social and economic life, what would happen? There would be no injustice. It's wrong, because if we deny equal rights for social and economic life, there would be an injustice. So option A is wrong. Equality in social life, equality in social and economic life will be achieved nevertheless. No meaning for this. For social and economic life will be in peril. So it was our political democracy will be in danger. You might be having answer from directly from the particular passage. Next, what might be the cause, according to Dr. Ambedkar, if things go wrong under the new constitution? So, if things go wrong, what would be the reason? So, we need to identify the reason. So, it is a reason-based question. Now, it is right. If it go wrong, what would be the reason? So, the right option for this 49 is that the men called upon to work the constitution were not good, because if you read the passage, in the last two paragraphs you will get answer for this particular thing. Next, so here the answer is option C. What does social democracy mean? So directly it was taken from the passage. If you look into the last paragraph, last lines, have direct answer here. What does social democracy mean? It means a way of life which recognizes liberty, equality, and fraternity as the principles of life. So here it was clearly mentioned, but it was implicit in the options. So which option? If you say social democracy means equality before the law, that is the wrong one, because that's a political democracy. So we need social democracy. So it is the equality in social life. If it is about opportunities, it is economic democracy. If it is about economic life, economic democracy, political democracy. The one thing which is social democracy is social equality in social life. Next, when does a bad constitution turn out to be a good? It was a direct statement taken from the passage. A bad constitution can be turned out to be good when it was done by good people. Directly it was in the passage. See here. A bad constitution may turn out to be good if those who are called to work it happen to be a good lot. So if a good people writes the constitution, it would become a good constitution. Even if it's a bad, a good people can change it. So direct statement. Next. So the answer is where the people called upon are good. So 51 is A. And 52. Which of the following statement is not correct? Not correct about what Dr. Ambedkar feel about the constitution. So directly we can eliminate the options only. Directly we can eliminate that. So not correct. So whenever it says only, that is a wrong answer basically. So this is the right. So not correct is the right. So if you look into the passage here, the constitution is workable, is flexible, strong enough to hold the country together, both peacetime and wartime. So if you look into the answers here, it is workable, flexible, peacetime and wartime. So only is the wrong one. So that is not a correct statement. So with this, we have completed our current affairs analysis. So out of 28, 23 answers are easy, directly taken from the passage. And 2 are difficult and 3 are moderate. If you know the context, you can easily answer the questions with some sort of logical reasoning. So with this, I am